People are looking for something real. God is looking for someone real. Be Real. Live from the Be Real Lounge. You're with us in the lounge. Your host, Daniel Lewis and Brother Brad Haynes. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How about you?
Yeah.
Good. Good to see you, dude. Hang out
Same.
in the lounge. And
In the lounge.
who knows, man? We're pretty wild today and a little wild and weird. So
Yeah.
who knows what's coming at you today?
Show number 30.
Number 30?
I know.
Wow.
We've did a little bit more than 30. We've got some extras going on, sliding around in there, but this is actually number 30.
You know, I was thinking about that the other day, man. I think we had 52 shows from the first year that we did. And then you throw that with it, that's 80 something. Most of them have been about an hour.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like 80 hours. What? I got a calculator somewhere here. I can't add without it anymore. But what, 80 divided by 24? That's pretty cool. I was born at 3:33. It's 3.33 days full of content.
Wow.
So right now, if we could, I'm never going to do it because I couldn't stand myself. But someone could straight up just do 3 full entire. We've talked.
Poor people.
We have talked
For 3 days.
over 3 days
Over 3
straight.
days. Wow.
Which is pretty wild because that's about the length it took for us to read the whole Bible.
Yeah.
Just saying it. So we've
80 hours.
actually, we have said as much stuff, or hopefully the Lord has said as much stuff through us as in the entire Bible.
Wow.
So that's pretty wild,
Pretty neat.
man, to think that you could just take,
Not as juicy and not as much treasure, but definitely a lot of talking going on.
but some real people just like Elijah
Yeah.
and Peter and these dudes.
Here we are.
You know,
In 2016.
so you
nuts.
can listen to 3.33 days.
That is really cool, though. It's landed on that 333.
That is kind of neat. It's
Yeah,
neat when
that's
that
come up
pops
several
up.
times.
It
With
has. Yeah.
different videos and
Yeah.
the 333. And
Well, that was that weird thing that I had
and it was
found.
on my birthday.
And
that was just really weird.
I'll tell them briefly what that was. Like one time I ran across like this angel, supposedly. I mean, you don't know if this stuff is made up or if it's real. But look, the real stuff does happen. So it could have been a real thing. And that's where I think we need to be on like this YouTube stuff and these videos. You can't have the attitude where it's like, well, that's not real. I can't stand that. Well, somebody just put that up there. Well, maybe they did, but maybe they didn't. That's where your critical thinking has to come in, where you have to do research to find out if it's real.
Yeah.
But long story short, there had been this thing that happened in China, supposedly was filmed by, the
Street camera.
yeah. And a guy was getting ready to get run over by a truck in China as he was riding his bike. And all of a sudden you see this like angel type figure. It's like just a person appear in this light flash. In the moment that he is saved, the time signature is at 3:33, which was the time I was born. I'm not saying any of this stuff means anything. It's just interesting.
Yeah,
I'm not saying,
cool.
hey, that video, I was born at 3:33 and that was the exact moment he was saved. So I'm special and you all need to see this. It has nothing to do with that. But the other weird thing about it was I showed you that little video. It's pretty neat. Just makes you think. And I know that angels save people every day, all the time. So that could have been a real thing or it could have not. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But it does happen. The weird thing about it on top of that was that it was 3:33, and then the day that it happened was your birthday.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, that's weird. It's 3:33. That's the time I was born. And you were like, well, that's even weirder that that's the day that I was born.
Yeah, the same day.
So I had the day that you were born at the time that I was born, which is just weird. I mean, out of all the videos and all the things and all the people that, you could watch.
That's one of the very few videos you've ever showed me.
Yeah.
That we've ever been like, oh, let's look up this YouTube video, you know. But we've watched some other stuff like the Bible Project, which I want to talk about that. I really enjoy them guys. I've been watching a lot of that.
Awesome.
I've been
watched
sharing
some of it.
Been emailing it to my family and you know, all that, sharing as much as I can with people. And the Bible Project on YouTube
talk about it.
is really neat. Yeah, they're just going through the Bible, and they're just, it's, you know, a couple of guys, and they got some artists that draw this stuff up, and
amazing drawings.
They're nonprofit, amazing drawings. And it kind of gives you a summary of each book, and they're going through the entire Bible. They're also doing themes that go through the entire Bible, from Genesis all the way to Revelation. They follow that one theme through the Bible with the drawings, and they're speaking it, and it's kind of they're really short, and they're really, you know, summarize it. Very powerful. Definitely don't want to take that instead of reading the Word. Don't let that.
But to add it with is a pretty powerful tool.
Yes, I've been, of course, everybody, if you've been listening, I've been reading through the Old Testament, and so I've been going back, and while I'm munching or eating or something, I'll watch that just to, you know, have something to kind of give me a little update of where I am and a little summarize of, and kind of, and I've been watching ahead of where I've been reading, and so it's making me want to get into, I was looking at Isaiah yesterday. They got Isaiah part 1 and part 2. And I was like, man, I got to get back in there, because I remember reading Isaiah, but it's been a while since last year.
Yeah.
And so it's I'm ready to get back into the prophets and see what all they have to say. It's real, especially on they've brought up a lot of points that I was like, oh yeah, I completely forgot about that. So I want to dig on in there, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it. I got a while before I get to Isaiah, but you know,
it's awesome though,
be in
man.
its time.
All kind of stuff will come between there and there, and so say that one more time. It's called the Bible Project.
The Bible Project.
So if you just went to YouTube and typed in the search the Bible Project,
the Bible Project, it'll
pull
pop
up their
up
channel.
like a little blue emblem that says the Bible Project, and click on there. And usually I go to the playlist. There's like a playlist section.
Cool.
It shows it'll say like all their videos, all the books or something,
Nice.
up to that point.
Yeah.
And so I've subscribed, and so whenever they come out with a new video, I know about it and been watching them and the themes. And if you ever wanted a good breakdown of the law, what atonement means, stuff like that, the prophecies of the Messiah, stuff like that, they've got all that on there. And the guy that does it, he really breaks it down. Well, 2 guys that do it, they really break it down really good. And the drawings, of course, help, because it gives you that, like you said, a visualization of what exactly is going on. Helps you kind of remember it, and also helps you learn. So that's really neat. They got that going on.
It is. It's one
really neat.
It's one of the most professional and tight things that I've seen on there, and also is holding to the truth of the Bible. I mean, they're not getting away from it, and they're just unpacking it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of junk on there, and I mean, there's probably more stuff like that out there. It just happened to run across this, not even looking for it, and it was like, boom, there it is. And actually was in Exodus, and I was getting ready to eat supper, and I don't like reading and eating at the same time. And so while I was eating, I was wanting to watch something. We have YouTube on our television, and just popped that up there real quick, and I was like, I want to hear something about Exodus, because I'm reading Exodus, and so I want to kind of stay into it. I was getting ready to read after I ate, and I've seen all these sermons on Exodus, and I was like, I really don't want to sit here and listen to somebody's opinion on 4 verses of Exodus. I want to hear somebody go through Exodus. And I actually found a pretty neat little cartoon that was on there about Exodus, and the guy had done it. It was really quick. It was kind of just showing the route that they took and where the different cities that they hit.
Neat.
That was pretty much it. And then I seen the Bible Project, and it was talking about Exodus, and I said, oh, I'll try that out.
Cool.
And then I found out they were going through the whole Bible doing this.
Yeah.
And they were nonprofit, and they were just doing it as they had the money to do it, and it's pretty neat. And I guess they've been around for a while. They got quite a few subscribers, and never heard of it though. So if you click on there, you like it, make sure you share it. And there's been a lot of people supporting them and stuff like that to really get it going. And I think it really does help. Of course, not going to let it take the place of the Bible whatsoever. But it's a good little refresher, good little summarization of real quick summary of what that book is about, certain books and stuff. It did a really good job on the songs.
Hopefully it would like this show. It doesn't take the place of it, but hopefully it inspires people to get into it.
Exactly.
Actually, it starts that that journey to where, you know.
Same as Be Real. I mean, that's what we're doing. That's why we got it started. That's why we're talking. And I mean, you know, of course, the Lord's called us to do it, give us the ability to do it. And just always definitely pointing to the Word.
Yeah.
Pointing to Christ.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the main gist of it all.
That's right.
Because, I mean, we could sit here and talk forever, but you'd never get the truth that you would out of the Bible.
Yeah, that's...
whatsoever. I mean, we could teach it.
Yeah.
You know, you have teachers that just teach this stuff constantly, and you would still never get any of the juicy, really good truth that you need in your heart. The hope, the peace, the love, the joy, the everything, the Jesus. Yeah. You would never get Jesus if you don't get into His Word and know Him. I mean, He's the one that wrote it.
Well, man, even on our best day, there's no way that our words will divide what did He say, ligament from bone and sinew. Like, the Word is so sharp that it hits every single person right where they need it. Like, our words could never do it. He can use
His words are like a double-edged sword, and ours is not even a popsicle stick compared to His.
It gets in there, and it actually sees your individual issue, and you hear that, which is why most people reject it, because it's too personal. It feels too intense on them, and they're like, they feel that, and then they back off of it.
Yeah. Or like we've talked before, just flat out lazy and just don't have time for it.
Yeah. I mean,
life is consumed, you know. I don't have time for that.
One or the other, man.
I don't have time for that. So anyway, I read this right here earlier, and I thought I'd share it. It just kind of popped out. I just put this there's a little thing that goes down in between.
I like books that have that.
The pages. What do you call these things?
I don't know, like a string marker, a string
marker
book
that's
marker.
made into the book, whatever.
Yeah, I like those.
Just happened to throw it in there, I guess the last time we used it, and then I opened it today, and I'd never seen this little quote here, and I'm just going to throw this out. Maybe we can talk about it, maybe not, whatever. I was like, I'm going to mention that on the show. I thought that's pretty cool. It just says, I only went out for a walk and finally concluded to stay out till sundown. For going out, I found, was really going in. I thought that was really neat. I only went out for a walk and finally concluded to stay out until sundown. For going out, I found, was really going in.
I mean,
that says a lot.
I love statements like that.
Yeah.
And the first thing that brings to my mind is another statement that I've been pouring on, that I've heard, that is, we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
That's it.
But we
think
think that we're human beings with a spiritual aspect. But the truth of what really is going on is that we are spiritual beings that exist forever, and we're having a human experience. This isn't our experience. This is just one stage of where we're at in our spirit. And that reminded, what was the last line of that? Like, when you think you're going out, you're really going in.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of lose yourself to find yourself. Things are not as you think that they are. You know, I mean, you think that you're just going out for a walk, and is it really a walk, or is it a transcendental moment for your spirit to find God?
How often do we do that? How often does the normal, average person in their life, American, do that? Do they just go out and just be out all day and just be with God and just be out in what He's made? Everything is made by human hands.
Mostly never that happens, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't even remember the last time I done it. Just went out, maybe for an hour, maybe for 30 minutes, but I mean, just give it all day.
Yeah.
Just go up onto the mountain and pray like Jesus all night.
Yeah, I'm with you,
and
man.
Just be there in the woods or whatever.
Well, I'll give you the flip side of that coin, too. I'm out in it every day, and I'm taking it in and working. But see, this is where I don't judge the person that's going off to the 9 to 5 and having a hard time finding Him, because sometimes the human condition hits you. I'm in it every day, but sometimes I can take that for granted because I am in it, and I can get as consumed in the work of the garden as anyone doing accounting, and I can lose track of what He's showing me through nature, even when I'm in nature.
Yeah.
So it's not just that because you're in it, then you get it. You still have to, I mean, you still have to
let go.
Yeah, and I struggle with that all the time, like dealing with this stuff that he's growing and that I'm tending, but then you get caught up in a worldly viewpoint of it, and I struggle with that. So there's all sides of the coin there, man, and it's a struggle for me personally, like, because I know, and all I have to do is stop and realize what's going on, and then I'm back to seeing what he's showing me. But whenever we try and control it and everything, you can have a garden and do all these things outdoor and still try and do it like the world does life, and it's still the same. And I've gone through stages of that, man, where I thought that doing that was him, just like we think that doing the church building is him, and then you find out no, it's you connecting with him in this, and yes, it's something he wants, but that's just
all that breaks down to is us doing.
It is
us doing instead of allowing him doing.
That's right.
It's us doing.
That's right. Hey, man, I'll just say we were going to kind of try and switch it up a little bit today.
Yeah.
We just were up here talking and messing around, and we were like thinking that, we started talking about the Beatles. Yeah. Wouldn't that have been cool? And we were just going to do a mix for today's Be Real show, just Beatles
just play
tunes,
some Beatles,
and then us talk, in between them or whatever.
Whatever happens.
But then we started looking to see if we could load those songs, because I've worked before on some of those mixes, man. People don't realize it takes hours to get this stuff together, and then to load it up takes, if you got an hour show, it's going to take about an hour and a half at least to upload it, which is a pain in the buttocks. And so we didn't, when we saw that the Beatles, they don't want to share their music.
YouTube is controller.
They got
YouTube.
the control on that.
YouTube got
we
the
were
control.
even going to non-monetize it just so they would get the money if there was any money, but all the songs of the Beatles were like being blocked, so we didn't want to go through a whole thing, load this up, it get blocked, and then not have a show for
no one ever hear it. And
but
so
we really want to
point of it is get
that.
it out there. I know. I would like
just
to do that.
Something fun, man. That is just.
I was going to do some Motown, and then we got some. Definitely wanted to do some Beatles and stuff like that.
Because man, we're like heavy most of the times. We're pretty. These 30 shows have been
light
super
dudes.
Intense.
Yeah, and we're light dudes. I mean, we're not heavy guys. We're just hanging out and speaking the truth, and and then so we get on here for this hour that us from the whole day. Us for 1 hour, and and sometimes it, like you just said, it gets heavy, and so we're not constantly like that. If we were, we'd lose our mind.
Sure.
But this stuff will drive you almost to losing your mind. I mean, it really is. It's a life or death thing, which I kind of don't want to start talking about it, because then I'll start getting into it again. But I mean, if it does, it does. But
I mean, that's what happens.
Yeah,
so.
and we're trying to speak out of love, and just how he's presented it to us, and how we just being real with you, and how we are. And so we also have I consider it a cool side. It's a cool side of Brad anyway, of hanging out and being with Beatles and some Motown, and just got a lot of stuff in common as far as music and movies and whatever happens come up. So
well, you got a super cool side too, man. You were a DJ for years and years, and we just have that love of. I think what we like doing is any goober can just play music. To me, there's nothing special about like being a DJ and just playing a song. Like any doofus can do that. But to me, there's an art form in linking the songs, and like a lot of people that can't see it don't even know. But I think there's a powerful art form in trying to say something. Like you have something that you want to say, just like we do on Be Real, and then instead of using words, you use other people to make your point for you, but you do that in the way that you line it up and edit it. So, I mean, that's what I always do. I have something to say, and I know you do too, and then I look for material to say what I want to say in a way that is going to be kind of undercover, and in a way that
fits the mood, and it goes and takes them on a journey.
We're smart people.
I've always loved that.
We're like smart people, and I don't mean intellectually smart like a high IQ. I just mean people that are not dull. Smart people will get it.
Yeah.
But most people aren't going to get it. And that's the kind of art that I like to create. And that's what I create, man. What he does is show me something. And then you take that idea and then you use this material to say that. And then most people aren't going to get it. But the ones that get it will really get it.
Yeah.
And that's why I love art, because, see, you can only take so much of me telling you exactly what it is, and then you can't stand to hear that anymore. So then that's when I like to use music. And then when you can't take any more of that, then we switch to paintings. And then you can't take any more of that, graphic design. You can't take any more of that, something else. And it's all saying the same thing. And see, I've been listening to that, man. I heard a podcast. It's really one of the most interesting. Now we're talking about stuff on YouTube. Mark Maron had a podcast where he was interviewing Ethan Hawke, who was a great actor from our age. I think he's about our age, actually.
Yeah.
The dude that was in Dead Poets Society was his first thing. But he was talking about art as that we really think that art is these different things like painting and music and drama and dance or whatever. But really, that's the wrong way to look at art. What art is a fist of something, and then every branch of that art is a finger on the fist. So to me, like, if you're an artist, you can express yourself in any form that it takes. You're not limiting. To me, if you limit yourself, well, I just paint, or I just do music, or you're limiting yourself for what could really happen, because you're defining yourself through something that you can't define yourself through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't define myself through. I paint, but I'm not a painter. I mean, that's not how I define myself. I make music, but I don't define myself as I'm a musician. I'm just Brad, and then I express myself in all these forms, and then when one gets tired to me, I switch to another, and then that other one gets fresh again.
And it's totally unique to you. That's the way God created you. And just like anybody that's listening right now, he's made you who you are, and you like certain things. And of course, there are people out there that like those things too, but then you'll have another I guess you could say artistic ability, or some kind of ability, or some kind of like that's going to be totally different than what that other person that you have in common with is.
And dude,
it's pretty neat.
Can I make this point too? I've made this years ago on one of our shows, but I really feel a lot of this. Try this in spiritually, because we're talking about God here too, but I'm using art to say it.
Yeah.
One of the things that drives me insane about people that actually don't create art, but it actually makes me feel really good because the art is working, it's getting to them, but is this idea that a lot of people, man, get challenged by art, and then what they do is they say, well, I could do that. There's nothing, well, why is that art? I mean, I could do it. And this is my argument. It's like the Ratatouille movie where the dude said anyone can cook. Yeah. See, everyone is an artist. If you look at something that someone has done and say, I could do it, yeah, you could, but this is the thing. Are you? Are you doing it? Well, probably not. I mean, what are you creating? See, like Jackson Pollock, man, changed modern art. He changed it all. And people thought that it was puke. They thought that it was baked spaghetti. They couldn't grasp it. And he had the balls to be himself. And people were like, well, I can do that. But no one ever did. No one has ever been able to do it like he did it. Well, why? Because it was him. So this is my thing. If you get challenged enough and you look at that and say there's nothing special about it, I could do that, then why don't you? But see, everyone should have something to say. And this is another point, and I told you I didn't have anything today, and I've completely monopolized this, but I got a lot of passion for this. This is another thing. Jackson Pollock used house paint. Like, I've seen one of the cool painters that new painters that I've seen, he actually uses elephant dung, elephant crap.
Okay.
So you're sitting there going, well, you're painting with this, but the stuff is beautiful. And it's like, well, this can't be art because of the medium. See, that's one thing that I run into sometimes. Like, I started in 99, man, 2000. I would take pictures of something, like take photography.
Yeah.
And then I made that. Okay. I had a perspective to capture that. So take a picture. Then I would take it into the computer and mess around with the picture. and use whatever forms that I wanted to get it to be a piece of art that I liked. Well, I've created it from the beginning, and then I use this, and then I would take that and then paint it too. And so what you have is this three, and I've never done a show with these pieces, but at some point you have these three perspectives of the actual photograph, and then you do a digital manipulation of your photograph, and then you do a painting of all that together. And it's, people can say, well, I could do that. Well, can you? I mean, do you have the perspective to take the picture, and then to do something with it? To me, all this is, but my favorite point is when I get people so aggravated when they look at it and they question if it's art, because then you own them, man. I mean, they're sitting there struggling with their own internal stuff. And if you get that, then something internally happens. And that's the same thing that happens with the Bible, is it's like you get churned up and you don't know, but you have to look at it and make that thing for yourself and work out your own issues. To me, I would rather have someone looking at the Bible and struggling with it than just not looking at it at all.
Yeah. That's the truth.
So to me, as an artist, if you get someone to look and to take in your image, then you succeed. What happens after that's done, that's none of my business. The same with Be Real. Once we let this out in the world, it's none of my business what someone does to it. But I have to create it. And then someone could sit and say, well, I can do that. Yeah, but this is the difference. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not. And that's some people can't not do it. And then other people can only judge what other people do, but they're never going to do it themselves. And then you die inside because you're like, I could do that, but you're not. So that's your issue, is not that you could do it. Anyone can be an artist. Anyone can paint. Anyone can cook. Anyone can do these things. Everyone has this stuff inside of them, but only the people that are brave enough to let it come through them ever have it.
Let it all hang out.
Let it all hang out. So I really have a lot of passion for that, because I believe that God used a lot of artists in the Bible. Almost every prophet is a performance artist in and of itself, but art is a powerful medium. And when we reduce it, we live in a time where art is not respected like it was, man, from, Picasso's day and through the 60s and the 40s, 60s, even up to 80s, you had an appreciation for art. After that, it's just kind of become a commodity, which is why I got out of it, because I'm trying to say something. I'm not trying to make money off of it or to try and paint what people want to see. I could care less about that. I have something to say.
Yeah. Seemed like it got political, and then once it got that way, it's just over with. Then just forget
and you got
it.
Dudes like Jeff Koons and stuff who are just doing, one of his pieces of art was Michael Jackson with his monkey, a ceramic of him, and it becomes pop art, and then you're like, well, is that art? But the thing is, he had something to say. I remember his stuff, so he got me. He's a real artist, but I just think that it became about money, and I don't think any real good artist, man, is in it for the money.
Yeah.
Just like the Bible. That's the verse you read. What was the verse you read me when you first came in about not peddling the gospel for profit?
2 Corinthians.
If you're about the gospel to try and make money or have a job, it's no gospel at all.
Yeah, that's no gospel at all. And you're treading extremely dangerous ground.
Yeah.
Extremely dangerous ground. So that just ain't playing with worldly things. That's playing with God, and that's a bad rap to be in right there, big time.
I know I kind of went off on all that, but you're an artist too.
You got a passion for it.
You're an artist too, man. What do you think about all that? You're a graphic designer. You do music art.
I just do it because I love to do it. For some reason, I've always messing around and just doing it, whether somebody else enjoyed it or liked it or looked at it or even looked at it and didn't like it. I just do it. I don't know. I just like putting stuff together and seeing where things fit, and something I've never seen before is what I want to make. Create. I don't play video games anymore. I used to be I never was like a really hardcore video gamer. I got into a bunch of video games because I had friends at the time that played, and so it was the new internet online kind of thing, and you'd get on there with your friends online and race bikes or play some Halo, stuff like that. That was kind of what I was into because everybody at work was doing it too. Then it kind of fell out. Like my buddy says, my appetite changed greatly when I got to know the Lord. The kids still play from time to time video games, and one of their favorite ones was Minecraft. And I never did give 2 cents about it or whatever because I never did pay no attention. And one day I was in there just watching them play, and that's what I usually do is when I'm in there reading, they're playing video games or whatever, and I just kind of look up and see what they're doing. They was playing this Minecraft, and it's a video game where you can pretty much build anything in this world. You're in a world, and you can have an extremely flat world, or you can actually have hills and mountains and trees and lakes and rivers and oceans, and you can go underwater and all this stuff, and you can build anything. It's all in blocks, and you have all these different blocks to make stuff out of. And I seen them doing this, and I was like, that is cool. And I said, I'd like to give that a try. So I got on there and I started playing this thing. Man, I was on that sucker for 6-7 hours.
Wow.
And I built, and it takes a long time to build something. I mean, you're literally building it in a computer world.
Gotcha.
And man, I've built glass pyramids and football stadiums and train tunnels and airports and subway stations, and I mean, just wasted a lot of time of my life in this game. But I love to create stuff like that.
Yeah.
And something I always used to say on the radio was, God creates stuff that creates stuff. Yeah. Now, of course, the stuff I was creating in that game is worthless compared to somebody like yourself who's out here planting a garden and you're actually bringing to life. Right. But he gives us all those areas of creativity and design, and the house that we're in, somebody thought of this in their mind, and somebody built this house.
That's right.
That's every house. That's been put down on paper or in somebody's head, and they've designed it. God's given them that ability to be able to do that. Now,
that's right.
That person could have been totally different from the person that actually built the house. It could have been some kind of designer that saw this image in his mind, drew it up, measured it out, and then somebody else built it. God gave him that ability to do that. And that's something I found when you were talking about in the Old Testament. He actually gave them the spirit when they were building the tabernacle. He gave these certain guys the ability to work with bronze, to work with gold, to work with silver.
He makes artisans.
Yeah, he actually gave them the spirit of workmanship, and it was really wild that they already had this certain ability, but God can give you more of the ability that when you're working for him, when you're actually doing stuff that he wants you to, and he's doing through you instead of you're doing the things that you want to do for God.
That's right.
It's just really, he's amazing God. He creates things, and bottom line is, he creates things that create things, and he gives us that ability. We can go outside and look at all the designs he has. We can look at these, like the little creature we saw this morning, the little yellow Oriole, whatever it is.
Is that goldfinch.
Goldfinch. I mean, he's made these things, and they are completely, even our own bodies are completely amazing. Our eye, everything is so intricate in design, and of course, sinful world has flawed it, but still in that sinful world, we see these amazing designs that God's created, and he's made all these creatures. There's so many things in this world that we haven't discovered yet. I read about it all the time, constantly, just about every month, and throughout the year, you'll see they just discovered 2 planets yesterday in our universe that are very similar to Earth. Several millions of light years away, but they're just discovered them yesterday. Well, they've probably discovered them, but they just announced it yesterday. And so, I mean, there's always stuff that we're finding out. We're never going to be able to see everything of God's wisdom and his knowledge and ability, but I'm so thankful that we serve a creator that is actually a creator that loves life and he is love so much that he creates stuff. I think he creates it just to look at it and then give it life. He's found most things so special, just like trees, birds, all this stuff. He's given it life to watch it work, and to watch it do the things it's supposed to do, and it's designed to do what it's supposed to do, except for man that says no and spits in his face. But even us, he still loves and gives us the ability to still have that relationship with him. And so God is the ultimate artist.
He is, man, and he gives us everything that he created is so we can understand him.
Yeah.
See, if that's what drives people nuts about when they like a piece of art, they want to try and figure out who painted it. Like, how can I know something about this person through what they created? And that's all of nature is going to show you. Whatever he created is going to show you his personality. If you follow that nature, man, and through every plant, through every tree, through every sky, through every mountain, if you trace that back, you will learn about him.
Isn't that this is kind of a thought, but this is exactly what you were talking about earlier. If you go back, and since the beginning, since the fall, you can see it happening right at the fall, actually. And then it's been going on through mankind, through time, through history, up until leading now. We do it to ourselves, and you just said it earlier. And we look at an artist's work and we go, we don't understand that. I could do that. And then you said, but are you doing it?
Right.
Man treats God the same way.
Yes.
In everything that we can do, with the medicine,
yes.
with the everything,
yes.
with the books, with well, I can do that.
Yeah.
And there's people that's tried to even do that.
Yeah.
And there's no comparison at all. That they can't make water, like you've said before.
That's right.
We can't make water.
Yeah.
We cannot make water. We've made Coca-Cola. We've made lemonade. We've made, all this stuff. Everything that's a liquid is based in water. Everything is there's water in the base of it. Right. Even petroleum has thinking water in it.
We can't make
something water
out of nothing.
Exactly. We can't make the base. We can't make what God has made.
No.
Everything here on earth is made from the earth.
It's made all
everything
these elements.
You look around right now, wherever you're at, your car, your house, your job, whatever, everything you're looking at, unless it was a rocket fell out of space, everything has come from the earth.
That's right.
Man has made everything from the earth. Man cannot create anything.
No.
God spoke it in a word.
That's right.
God spoke it.
Exactly. And that should be super humbling there. I think that we don't actually set on that realization. I think that there's a lot of people out there that think that we can make stuff out of nothing, that think that these polymers and things that we come up with, plastics and things, that we just made that crap up. We didn't. I mean, we took elements that God gave us and we blended them together.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, make me a meal out of no food.
Yeah.
You can't do it. I mean, make me a salad, but don't use any lettuce.
Make me a universe out of nothing.
He can do it.
He can do it.
We can't.
We can't do that.
We can't do it.
And it drives us nuts.
It does.
Because we want to be the maker of our own design.
We do.
I made that. We want to look at that and go, I did that.
Yeah.
That's my kid.
Yeah.
That's my computer. I built that. I built this company from the ground up. I did that.
That just reminded me, and this will take us down a whole different road. Don't really want to get into this, but I will say one of the things popped up on me a while back when, first of all, we were talking, we're overstimulated, and a lot of times I don't want to watch anything or listen to anything or hear anything. I just want to sit in a room with silence. Yeah. But that kind of feeling happened after I watched this, which was, I had never seen the new World Trade or whatever they're calling that, where they built it in the place of the two towers. Have you ever seen that building?
I've heard of it.
I watched the documentary on it. And I'm not going to say whether or not I think that they should have built there or not. That's neither here nor there. My opinion doesn't really matter. But what was built there is the tallest building in the world.
Really?
And I don't see why human beings think that doing stuff like that makes us successful. To me, I just felt like here we are back in the Tower of Babel again, where it's like, well, it was knocked down and it wasn't. Now we're going to, I think it's something like 50 stories higher or something. I don't know. You have to check the facts on that, but it is higher, and it's wild.
I think one of the World Trade Centers was 110 stories, so it's got to be more than that.
It's more than that. Yeah. It's quite a bit more than that. And the amount, if you watch the documentary on it, the amount of material and manpower and things, if we would ever use our ingenuity for things other than monetary gain, like, seriously, and the point of that whole thing is, if there wasn't money to be made, they wouldn't do it. I mean, you're doing it so you can rent out the space and make a ton of money.
Everything's about
if there wasn't money involved, they wouldn't be building it. I mean, it isn't
I
like they're
guarantee you
just
there's people buying spaces in that building just so they could say that they have a space in that building.
what
You know where
is.
the World Trade Center was?
Yeah.
There's another building, and I own an office in that building.
Well, it's a guarantee, man. But the point that flipped me out was the amount of money and materials and manpower that we use to do these things. If we would use half of that to seek God in a real way, man, it would be amazing what could happen. But no one thinks we should.
Or just go with the second commandment.
Yeah.
Love others.
Right.
I mean, just help all these people out that don't have a house and are, don't have a place to stay. I mean, just give it back to people. Instead, we're just building buildings and.
I'm not down in cities. I've lived in a couple and been entrenched in it before, and I get the city life and I understand the aspect of it. But dude, when you go up there, I went to the Empire State Building and stood on the top and looked out as far as I could see. And it's not pretty, dude. Cities and this smog and this stuff that we've created to take the place of nature, I really don't think he meant it to be that way. And I think it's a disaster.
It is.
And I'm not saying you shouldn't live in the city or get out or any of this stuff. I'm just saying, seriously, when you look at all this stuff and you don't see anything God made and it's all stuff we made, if you're really honest, it's not pretty.
No.
It ain't pretty, man. I mean, they showed the view. You can see all the way from Pennsylvania from the top of this new trade. It ain't pretty.
I'll tell you what. This is just come to my mind here. We can roll down the road here, and we go up to this overlook, Lover's Leap.
Sure.
Look off the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And you see Lover's Leap. When you look off of Lover's Leap, what do you see? Hillsides, mountainsides, green, beautiful. You can see the Blue Ridge Mountains in the background. I mean, it's just all it's been like that for thousands of years, thousands. Right. And the seasons come and the seasons go.
That's right.
Now, take that same image. If all that was a city, man-made stuff, how long does that last? You imagine seeing that? Would that be there for a couple thousand years? We can go and look at the ruins in Greece. I mean, and that's just been a couple thousand years. I mean, it's ruins. It's man-made. It's ruins. At one time, that might have been whoa, look at the temple and the pillars and the grand statues. And now it's a big heap of rock and junk. Mm-hmm. Just laying around everywhere, all in the way. But I mean, it still looked as history, but it's rock and rubble, and it's going back to where it came from.
It didn't last.
It does not last.
Doesn't last.
It does not last.
And that's Jesus's comment. See, whenever we get caught up in our stuff, like the disciples did, call Jesus' attention to the buildings and the temple, like they did. Isn't this magnificent? Look at this temple. Mm-hmm. And Jesus told them there, it ain't going to last.
Yeah.
He said, not one stone. He's like, I don't care about this. It's not going to last.
And their next question, what was that? Rooster?
Yeah.
And the next question, when is this going to be? This is the end of the age. They knew all this stuff that man has ever built, ever done, man himself was going to come to an end.
Yeah.
This stuff does not last. Even they realized it at that own little time. I don't know if they realized it at the time, but the question they asked was basically, you just said the temple was not one stone was going to be on top of each other. Well, when does the end of the age come? When does the end of the world?
Yeah.
Lord, when is the end of the world?
And Jesus
they
right
knew
there
it
is
was
saying,
last. You can tell that this is not going to last.
No.
Nothing has ever lasted that man's made.
No.
Nothing.
And
Nothing.
It never will, man. And the things that I think remain in the short term, not in the long term, are the things like art, man. All of those things that are painted in the pyramids mean more to us than the pyramids because they help us understand about well, why did they do this? We can see some glimmer. If you just had the pyramid, the great architecture, and no paintings or anything, that would be, you wouldn't feel, what? You would see the art remains, man, and it's tangible even in the untangible. If you see a picture and you feel something from it, you have that even if the picture's destroyed. Yeah. So that's what I've always said. I'm not trying to do anything with this stuff. I said, when I die, man, somebody's going to have to do something with all these paintings that I've painted. I mean, I probably have.
Even the huge pyramid is a marvel to me. I like looking at it, even just the rocks piled up on top of
I
each
do
other,
too.
and them trying to figure it out and stuff like that. And you got this huge. There's three of them. One, of course, is bigger than the other two, but I mean, it's really magnificent. But what impresses me more, and I find way more wild and crazy and just blows my mind, is a great redwood tree.
Oh,
that
me
has
too.
been there longer than the pyramids
I
have.
agree.
And is a living thing.
I agree.
It blows my mind. And then you have a forest of these things that are all interconnected by the roots. They're so heavy above ground that a very strong wind could blow them all down, but because their all roots are connected and they live together as a community, and they're all just, I mean, underground it would be impossible to separate them. Up above you see separation. They're all coming out of the ground, but underground they're all one.
It's true.
And they cannot go anywhere because they have each other, and that
right.
and they're living beings, and they've been here for thousands and thousands of years. I mean, they just can't tell how long they've been here.
Right.
And it just, that is what blows my mind. I mean, man can create some triangle pyramid looking things that come out of the ground, but these great redwoods, and I mean, just
We
every
can't make
little thing,
something
you can't
grow.
we can't give anything life.
Nope.
Nothing. We cannot give anything life. You did not give your child life.
No.
I'm sorry. You didn't give him life.
No.
I mean, if you could give him life or her life when they were, if they were, Lord forbid anything ever happened and they start expiring, can you give them life back after they've passed away? No, because you didn't give a life to begin with.
Yeah. Man, I think that he's made us for expression, and we're all about repression. You know what I mean? I think that all we do is pack down stuff. It's like, you ever fired a musket, man? You know you have to pack that stuff down in there with the old ramrod, and you got to pack it down in there, man. And then that thing, pow. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're all... Yeah. The worldly life is, we're just muskets packing this crap down in there. Repression, and it's going to end up popping. And he made us to express the stuff as it comes. We can deal with the little pulses of stuff, but you can't deal with an explosion and a bullet fired at you, man, or ripped through your soft tissue. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And so I don't know, man. I think that we were all made to do that, and we were trained somehow that because that stuff doesn't make money, that it's not worthwhile. And when you look at what culture is, that's the only stuff that lasts. Nobody's going to be looking at your accounting book 1,000 years from now and trying to get anything out of it. They don't care. It's not going to inspire them in any way. You spend your life and you say, well, I mean, yeah, but that made money. Yeah, but it's not going to last. I mean, you could express yourself and it might change someone's life, you know.
Yeah.
But the accounting dossier is not going to change anyone's life, man. You know.
That's the truth.
So, I don't know, man, but it's pretty wild. I didn't know we would talk about anything like this, but that Beatles mix got me thinking about all this
creation.
Yeah, and that he's given us this stuff, and that, I don't know, I'm just
do it. People are losing it. They're going and fantasizing about other people's work and their creation, and idolizing other people's things because they love it, and they're not getting into the joy and the love that God's given them in order to do what he's designed them to do. We all have something special to do. We're not just a bird out here working and designing a nest and gathering food for its young. We're actually humans who he came to earth to teach and to live for and to die for and to give eternal life for and to have a relationship with, and to take these things that he's created and make more out of it, and to come up with our own things, and to grow in ourselves, and to express ourselves and to be who we are. And most of us are just kind of a little, we got all this stuff around us, and we'd let other people's ideas and other people just flow to our lives and out of our lives, which that's a good thing at some point, but if you're overdoing it, it's not a good thing, because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and that's being who you are, being the bunny. Man, just get out there and jump around and have a good time, and doing what he's designed you to do. And you'll have a not only the ultimate thing is having a relationship with him, but you'll be allowing him to live through you, and you'll be doing what you love to do because he's designed you to do that. And I mean, what greater thing is that than the God, the creator of all things, has given you the ability to, has made you special and given you something that you like to do it. And I mean, it's always, with him, it's always going to be something, the first 6 days of creation, it is good. It is good. He saw it, and it is good. He saw it, and it was good. And he saw it, and it was good. And that's what he wants us to do. He made us in his image in the very beginning to have a relationship with him, and then for us to do the same thing. And we saw it, and it was good. And we enjoyed doing that. And, we're supposed to love what we're doing, and a lot of us are just working the 9 to 5, hating what we do, trying to find and go buy things that make us a little bit happy of the money that we've got from this thing that we don't like to do, and we've lost all connection with life and lost all connection with God and what He's designed us to do to begin with, and have that relationship with Him and having to do what we want to do. He's an amazing God.
Well, he really has made us for the art of LIVIN.
Yeah.
And
he's life.
And man, that's one reason we're doing Be Real, is we want people to pull out the tube and realize that you're a spiritual being having a human experience. Mm-hmm. That it's not about what we've been told life is about. He has something else that's far better. But you have to wake up, man, to see it
and enjoy it. Gosh, get it, soak in see the real colors.
There you go.
See the real colors.
See that things are in color.
That's it. Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
the major
to even
thing.
begin with, and then see the colors, man.
Exactly. Quit eating the junk. World's feeding it, and people are following it. And people are following the followers.
Yeah.
And they're just, it's terrible.
I like, man, looking at the whole psychological aspect of it, and it trips me out, man. And it's everything that Jesus preached, and we're exactly the same today as humanity was when he walked the earth. Yep. There's nothing that's, our cultures have changed here and there, but the state of the human heart, exactly the same. Ain't nothing changed. It's like the more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah.
And
as I'm going through the Old Testament there, I'm seeing, just the beginnings here of Israel, and they're just getting ready to cross the Jordan. I just stepped into Joshua. I have read just the first line of Joshua.
Yeah.
And the Lord says, Moses, my servant, is dead.
Right.
That's as far as I've gotten. But I know what they're getting ready to do, and they've come through all this, and they have all these laws and all this stuff going on, simply because they didn't want a relationship with God. He has given them that relationship, and every turn they've thrown it away. And I've seen what Israel really means. Jacob was called Jacob. That was the name given to him. He who laughs, I believe, or she who laughs, or whatever.
I remember
Jacob.
that.
And then God gave him the name Israel. He changed his name to Israel, which means wrestles with God.
After they wrestled, and he touched his hip and bound him up.
Wrestles with God. And I can see why that is called Israel, because it's the beginning, and I know how the story of Israel goes through the history, and there is constantly a people that wrestles with God.
Yeah.
And because they want their own.
Yeah.
They want to be champion. And so they wrestle with God, and that's us. That's us. We wrestle with God. We want what we want, and not what He wants for us, which is much greater.
And sometimes,
unbelievable. Blow your mind, plumb out of your head. Unbelievable greater. The things that He has for us. Just the beautiful. We had heaven here on earth. He created the Garden of Eden, a place to put man. Beautiful relationship with God. Had everything. Named the animals. Named all the creeping and crawling animals on the dry land. Had all this stuff, and we tossed it all away because we wanted more. We wanted to be we wanted to be us. Our own throne. We can do it. We don't need God. And that's the same thing as what it is now. We wanted to be just like God, as God, when He had all this stuff created for us. For us. He don't need all this stuff. The first 5 days of creation, even on into the 6th, because He created the animals, the creeping, crawling things on the dry land on the 6th day before He created us. He created everything. We were the last things created before He rested on the 7th day, because He set the whole thing up for us.
That's right.
And everything was good. And it was morning, and it was evening, and he saw that it was good. And it was morning, it was evening, and he saw that it was good. It was good for us. He made it for us.
Yeah.
He not only made it out of his abundant love, and he loved it because, he's creating, and he sat back on the seventh day, and he went like, I just made all that. I need to chill out now. He was enjoying it.
Yeah.
He even set the seventh day apart just so we could sit back and look at what we're supposed to be doing. Him through us doing this stuff, and he's created us to create stuff, and we're supposed to be sitting back on this seventh day and going, man. My whole week, it's just, look what he's been doing in my life. Look what we've done together. We're supposed to be having a relationship with him where we're doing stuff together. It's what a relationship is. And we've tossed it all away and said, get out of my life, God. I want to do this on my own. And you can look around, and the evidence is flat facing your face, because you can look in the mirror and see, and I can look in the mirror and see that I've wanted to be on my own throne and do all this on my own. And where is my life at now? I'm doing it all on my own. Yeah, look at my life.
Yeah.
Look at my life. It's evidence. Look at your life. Is it evidence that you've been doing it all on your own? Isn't it grand and spectacular? And can you say every day, it is good?
Right.
Can you honestly look at every day in your life and say, morning and evening, and I saw it, and it is good? With God, it is.
Yeah.
But with us, we can't say that.
No way.
Any day, I couldn't say that.
We've all got caught up in the human experience instead of the spiritual experience as humans. There's a difference.
Yeah.
It's the flesh. It's the fall of man. Satan deceives us to make us think that this is what it is, that it's just about this.
And we eat it. We believe every bit of it.
It's really hard, man. The only way we can get through it is holding to his word, and to his flesh and his blood, Jesus.
Stay outside of the box.
Jesus and his teachings.
God is outside of the box. The only way to get outside of the box is to be with him.
That's right. And if you're with him, you won't be in the box, because he was never in that box.
Never.
And he sure
didn't even
ain't
create
in it
the
now.
box. We created the box.
He never.
And got in it willfully.
Oh, yeah.
I don't need you, Lord. I don't want to be out here with you. I'm going to get in my own box. And there's where we die, brother. We become dust right there in that box.
I got a great analogy for that one. You don't watch Friends a lot, but have you ever seen the one, man, where Joey builds that huge entertainment center big enough where he can get in it?
I don't remember that.
Okay, the deal is he's trying to sell it because it's too big for the place. A guy comes by to look at it. He says, I bet I can get in that box. He says, I don't think you can fit in there. So Joey gets in the box. The guy locks him in the box and then steals all of his stuff.
Wow.
Isn't that what Satan does to us? He makes us think that it's about the box. And he says, get in there. I don't think you can really do it. Then he locks us in the box and steals our life.
That's it.
And then you're sitting in the box going,
stuck.
Why am I in here? Because you got in there.
You got in there. On your own free will, we got into the box.
You know.
Got to get out of it.
And then Chandler comes home, sees all of his stuff missing, and is like, what's going on? And then Joey yells out from in the box, hey, get me out of the box.
And what's crazy about it, Brad, is ever since the Lord has got me out of the box.
Me too.
I didn't get myself out of the box.
Me neither.
Ever since the Lord has taken me out of the box, I've seen people willfully know that there is a box, but yet because everybody else is climbing back in it after he's taken them out, they climb back in it too.
Yes. I have pressure every day from everybody in my life.
To get back in the box.
To get in the box.
Everybody else is doing it. Everybody else is getting back in the box. Let's go get in the box, man. It's the right thing to do.
That's right.
Not listening to God, not listening to what he says, not saying, hey, let's have a relationship. I've died to get you out of that box.
That's right.
I
it's
died
for freedom that Christ has set you free.
to set you free. And but everybody else is getting in the box because that's what the Lord wants me to do because I'm listening to everybody else.
Yeah.
And I'm not listening to what he's got to say.
And see that you got these people that are basically, and this is such a charged up word, I don't even want to use it, but the Bible uses it. You have people that are like slave owners now, and they try to justify the slave system by saying that the Bible says slaves obey your masters.
Yeah.
The part that they all leave out is the whole book of Philemon. And I didn't say filet mignon, it's Philemon. That book is about a slave owner where Paul is telling him, I know that you love Jesus, and if you do, you're going to treat him as a brother, not as a slave. Mm-hmm. There's nothing in the Bible that would speak to having slavery. Mm-mm. See, that's been misconstrued. Really, read Philemon, and he comes and he tells him, Paul gets really bold, and he says, I know that you're going to do what I've done. And I could find it. It's basically, I think at one point, he's like, I'm coming to visit you. Prepare a room for me so I can see that you've done everything. And he's like, I know that you're going to do even more than I ask. And you get this feeling in there that Paul's going to whoop up on this dude. If you read it, I kind of get this feeling that Paul's physically going to kind of smack this guy around a little bit. I may be wrong about that, but that's what the feeling I get, that if this dude doesn't let his slave free, he's going to have to answer to Paul smacking him around a little bit. So we were not made for slavery in any way.
Even though we live in it.
We do live in it, but he did not make us for it.
Every one of us that go to this job every day or every other day or on the Monday through Friday, you're a slave.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm not sorry. That's the truth of it.
Well, see, it's
saying you're not, then quit your job.
I
mean, you're working for somebody else to make money. I'm doing the same thing.
Well, see, it's been made a little weird because Americans think of slavery in the form of African American slavery and picking cotton. There's been all kind of slaves throughout history, every generation. And our slavery now is not akin to the slavery of the Civil War. Our slavery now is akin to the Roman slavery, where the Roman slaves were they owned homes. They lived with their families, but they just had to go and work at the brick pit for a certain amount of time.
And they had to pay taxes. We don't even get a check until taxes are taken out. How is that not? If that's not slavery, I don't know what is. And then, I mean, you're not even willfully paying this. You're not getting it and then going, well, I need to pay this. No, they take it out before you even pay it. Before you even get your check, they take it out.
And then, Daniel,
you're a citizen, my friend, a slave.
You are a slave to the bank because and this right here, I'll go ahead and throw it out. We'll just jump into it. This is not like some political statement here.
No.
The income tax.
It's just the truth of the matter.
The income tax is not constitutional.
No.
Okay, your income tax, and y'all know this, everything that you pay as income tax, you say, well, you look at it as a tithe, like, well, I'm helping the government. No, you're not. All of your income tax goes to pay the debt to the bankers that your government has loaned from a private bank. Okay, our government does not control its own money. It is not based on anything real, which it used to be in the gold standard. Now, what it's just funny money. Our government goes and borrows money from a private bank, okay, and then charges you the interest on them loaning that money out, which is your income tax. It's not constitutional. It's not from the beginning. We're not supposed to be borrowing money from international bankers. Constitutionally, we could do away with that and go back to a standard, and it would stop inflation. But see, but they're like, oh, this is too complicated already. It's just I trust my government.
Just let them take it out of my check. You want me to stop letting them take it out of my check?
The government is supposed to work for you. And now Americans have accepted that we work for the government. They're only there to work for us.
Yeah.
See, but we've given them ultimate power. Like, well, if they want to just surveil everything, I don't have anything to hide. It's okay. It's not okay. Like that place where I said, well, the government might be building this, what is that, Pensmore or whatever, whoever's building that. And people like, I don't care. The government has to do things to protect us. Our government is not supposed to do anything that they don't tell us that they're doing, because if they do, they're tyrannical and they don't work for us. But we've ate the poopy pie and said, we just need them to do all this stuff for our security, when that is killing you. You'd be better off trusting in Jesus and not trusting in the government. But I'm telling you, I got a lot of passion about that. It drives me nuts. Yeah. People act like that their income tax is like, well, I support Social Security. Well, gee willikers.
But anyway, just getting back to it, there's a lot of boxes. There's a lot of boxes inside the box.
Just went off again.
That's all right. There's a lot of boxes inside the box.
Yeah.
And so not only can you be inside this big box, but you can be inside many different other boxes that are inside that box. And it gets deeper and deeper and more confusion. God is not the author of confusion. There's a simple life. There is very simple life, and that's Jesus Christ. He is life. He's life eternal, and that's bottom line. And I mean, if you would just if you just open your eyes to that, it's a work in progress, man. It's an everyday thing, especially if you're a citizen of America or slave of America, whatever you want to call it. It's something else, and Lucifer has turned this world upside down, and we've eaten every bit of it. Ever since the beginning, ever since he said, here, try this fruit out, we've eaten a whole lot more than that fruit.
In what realm?
And we do it to ourselves.
What realm does Satan exist in? What was that first thing? It was the material realm.
Yeah.
See, he always is coming you with some material thing. Eat this apple. Get this thing. Have this. Build this. Do this. Have it. He works in the material realm.
I feel so lost. I feel so confused. I don't know. We've just gotten so deep, I don't think we'll ever get out of this hole. We'll never get out of this box. Turn to Jesus Christ. Have that relationship with him. Just do it. Quit talking about it and actually do it. And you'll see. And guess what? You'll be able to breathe. The first fresh breath of air that you've ever breathed in your life. It wasn't when you come out of your mother's womb. It wasn't none of that. It's actually a new birth. You will have a new birth, and you'll go outside and you'll go, oh my Lord, I am out of the box. I am not caught in this bull crap anymore. This everything is just baloney. I'm not in it anymore, and you'll be so grateful, and praise, true praise will come from your hate, from your heart, from your hate.
Yeah.
True praise will come from your heart to God and say thank you, and you'll truly be grateful in your heart, and he'll know it and you'll know it, and that relationship will grow stronger, and you'll be like, yeah, oh my gosh, thank you, Lord, for all this stuff. Ultimate peace to take me out of the box. Ultimate freedom. You got me out of the box. I mean, I was just, it's crazy.
It is.
It really is, man. It's crazy.
You have to be willing to see the truth.
Yeah. You got to surrender. You got to
Before
get
you
out of the
can
box.
see the truth, because the same thing with the
see
Bible,
what you're
man.
going to do.
I mean, I'm
It's your choice.
I'm done on this thing.
Yeah.
But people, when I say that stuff about the income tax and all that, they think that it's not American, and they don't know their history, because Thomas Jefferson fought against that. Andrew Jackson fought against it. Teddy Roosevelt fought against it. And it wasn't until Woodrow Wilson that we had it. And that's when we sold our soul as a nation to the devil. And we can reverse it now, but we have to admit that it needs to be reversed. See, we could make Congress do it, just like we could make the church buildings follow the Bible. It's the same issue, but it's our fault, because we just take it down and want to be slaves and say, well, I can't do anything about that. Yes, you can. You can just not go along with it. And if everybody wouldn't go along with it, it would change. But see, you going along with it means that you believe in it. And that's why me and Daniel are trying to do what we're doing, why we're kind of look like fruitcakes a little bit. But you know what? I'm okay with it, because I'm happy, and I know I'm following him in spite of all my mess ups and mistakes and all my issues.
Yeah. Get out of the box.
I see him. So
that's it.
Anyway, man, had a pretty long one for a couple guys that didn't have nothing to say. I feel like I could go another hour right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna, but
just being it's what it is today.
I get fired up for people to see the truth, because I'm so sick of apathy, Daniel.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of this apathetic personality that, well, that's the way it is, but I can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the reason why everything's a big pile of dung, because nobody has the balls to do anything about it.
Yep.
So
turn to Christ.
I'm going to do something about it today.
That's it.
Which is try and apply it in my own life.
That's it. That's
and
the
if
main
I do,
thing.
It's a success.
Seek.
Eureka.
Seek. And we'll leave it with this scripture right here. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Ain't got nothing else to say.
Believe it or not.
Praise God.